Hello and welcome to our Kickstarter Projects Analysis Report presented by Group 22. In this comprehensive report, we discover key insights and trends in crowdfunding success. So, without further delay, let's commence.
So basically, Kickstarter platform is a global online crowdfunding platform launched in 2009 to give life to creative ideas ranging from art to music, design, games and technology. Crowdfunding is the process of receiving small funds towards the capital of a project or a venture, and it is typically done using such as social media or a crowdfunding platform. In the Kickstarter platform, the process starts when the creators launch an online campaign to raise funds for their creative ideas or projects from people or companies worldwide.
In this slide, we present about the key terms of this project, which is creator, project, backer, funding goal, pledge, and reward. Creator is the people with the project idea and creates the project, the creative idea, backer, people who fund pledge money the project, funding goal, the amount needed for a project, pledge, the act of funding a project in Kickstarter platform, reward, a reward backers in return of their fund. The failure of campaigns on the Kickstarter platform to reach their funding goal is distressing for the creators of those projects and the backers who support them by pledging funds. The recent update shows that the overall success rate on the platform was 41.29%, and a further exploratory analysis on the finance state revealed that 47.15% of Kickstarter projects fail upon deadline completion, affecting about 286,713 projects. This issue creates concerning needs for creators to know how and when the projects tend to be more successful. In addition, backers, especially those seeking rewards, need to know which project have the highest potential for success. As for the Kickstarter platform, more successful projects mean higher revenue as they charge a 5% fee on the total funds raised by a project that has been successfully funded.
This project aims to identify and analyze the attributes of successful projects. Understanding the attributes of successful projects will enable the creators to make better decisions on launching their projects. It will also guide backers' decisions on which projects to support, as the platform has thousands of project ideas, making it difficult to predict which one will make it to its goal. Overall, this project will help the Kickstarter platform improve the backers' and creators' engagement and satisfaction, which would be leading to improved success rates and the projects, of course, increasing the revenues.
This project used secondary source data, which was obtained from the National Archive of Data on Arts and Culture repository hosted by the ICPRS website. ICPRS is the largest social science data archive in the world and is part of the University of Michigan Institution of Social Research. Therefore, the obtained dataset is trustworthy and creditable and can be used for research to provide business insight and solution.
The dataset contained data about Kickstarter projects from 2009 to 2023. It included data for 610,015 projects, but was reduced to 608,142 during the data cleaning because of missing data. The dataset included 20 variables but was reduced to 15 variables because of similarities in some variables and also to reduce the file size. Other transformation steps included recoding from numbers to corresponding names based on the codebook provided by the source and mapping the locations to their countries using M language, and also additional features and variables were added such as project campaign duration column and success rate measure and others as needed for analysis.
In this slide, you can see that there are three charts in which the first one is number of projects by category, overall pledge to go ratio by category, and success rate by year and category. In the first chart, starting from 2009 until 2023, we could see that the highest number of projects is a film and video category with about 84.33k. The least one is dance category with about 4.52k number of projects. Moving on to the next chart, we can see that for overall pledge to go ratio, there are three significant categories that are different with others, which are games, design, and comics, with about 91.61%, second is 86.25%, and the third one is 76.48% respectively. The least one is journalism with only 4.73% pledge to go ratio. For the success rate by year and category, dance category had dominating success rate for the Kickstarter project, starting from post 2010 until 2014. During these years, it remained the most successful category for the past 3 consecutive years, with a success rate of 72.42%, 72.07%, and 71.77%. However, starting 2017, comics has turned down the dance category, where the comics category has a consistent positive success rate until 2023. With the success rate of 79.01%. Technology, meanwhile, is the least successful category starting from 2014 until 2021, where they only managed to have at most 31.35% success rate in 2021. As a summary, reward-seeking backers can maximize their chances of getting more successful project and more rewards if they back project that belongs to category with higher success rates. Creators who create projects under categories with lower success rate should make an extra effort to maximize their chances of getting their project successful. In this slide, you can see that there are two stack column chart, which is number one is most successful 3 subcategories in top 5 categories in 2023. And then the other one is least successful subcategories in top 5 categories in 2023. So the right side is the top performing subcategories, and then the below one is the top underperforming subcategories. For the top performing subcategories, we can see that number one in terms of games, tabletop games subcategory has the highest success rate with 66.91%. Then followed by technology category, the highest subcategory is camera equipment with 53.69%. For music category, chip tune subcategory has the highest with 70.49%. Comics, for comics anthologies subcategory, 81.39%. And the design category, typography subcategories has the highest subcategories with 56.08%. For top underperforming subcategories, we have 5 categories in there, which is number one is art, comics, craft, dance, and design, in which the subcategory are video arts, comics and events, candles, workshop, and interactive design with failure rate of 56.77%, 47.86%, 79.91%, and 60.10%, and the last one is 63.05% respectively. As a summary for research question 2, backers and creators should be aware of the facts that even within successful categories, there could be subcategories that are less successful with high failure rates. In contrast, there could be some subcategories within the least successful category with high success rate and pledge to go ratio.
The Kickstarter platform has projects from 218 countries, but in this analysis we used the top 15 countries based on the number of projects created. The bar chart shows that most of the projects were initiated in the United States with more than 412,000 projects. After that comes the UK and Canada. They also had the most successful number of projects as shown in the column chart. However, by looking at the success rate chart, we can see a different result where Japan, China, and Scotland had higher success rates. This is also evident when we look at the pledge to goal ratios table for the top 28 countries, where countries with higher success rates tend to have higher ratios. Furthermore, the most successful categories chart shows that the art, comics, and games categories frequently appear as the top performers in various countries. In contrast, the least successful categories chart shows that the fashion, food, and journalism categories had the higher failure rates. In conclusion, the location of a project does not play a significant role in achieving the funding goal. This was evident when we looked at the pledged to goal ratios for the top 28 countries. However, it is worth noting that developed countries tend to initiate a larger number of projects, which logically leads to a higher number of successful projects compared to the developing countries.
The Kickstarter platform has projects with goal amounts as low as $1 to as high as $1.66 billion. So the funding goals were divided into six classes based on judgment for analysis purposes. The histogram shows that most of the Kickstarter projects fall between less than $1,000 and less than 99,999 funding goal range, and only very few projects had higher goal amounts. The line chart shows that the success rate over time was higher for lower goal range, with a sharp increasing trend for the lower three goal ranges. Among them, the most successful projects were those with less than $1,000 goal. The pledge to goal ratio table also supports this observation, as the ratio was higher for lower goal range. Moreover, the most successful categories chart indicates that the comics and games categories could be highly successful across various goal ranges. As for the dance category, it can be seen that it could be highly successful in lower goal range but may have high failure rates in higher goal range, as shown in the top underperforming chart. Again, as found in the previous research question, the food, journalism, and crafts categories were highly underperforming. In conclusion, projects with lower funding goals tend to be more successful than projects with higher goals, indicating that lower goals are more attractive. This is also evident in the overall pledge to goal ratio, which is higher in lower goal range. This means the funding goal logically affects the failure and success rates of projects. Both scatterplot charts show the relationship between the project campaign duration and the success rate of the projects. The two variables have a linear negative relationship. This means the success rate decreases as the campaign duration goes longer. Also, we can see that in the right scatterplot, the R squared improved after removing the outliers, which are present in the left scatterplot. This indicates that 56% of the variation in success rate is explained by project duration. The pie chart illustrates that 80% of Kickstarter projects fall in duration less than 45 days. And looking at the overall pledge to goal ratio table, those projects also had higher ratios. However, projects with durations within 30 days and 45 days achieved the highest ratios, with 41% and 63.25% respectively. This is a strong indicator of why projects with shorter durations are more successful. Moreover, the most important point to be noted from the most successful categories chart is that the top three successful categories after the 60 days were theater, comics, and music, but they were equally successful in shorter durations as well. In short, projects with shorter durations have higher success rates and pledge to goal ratio, so creators need to consider setting shorter durations for their project campaigns. This will show a sense of urgency for completing the projects, which may encourage backers to support the projects, as they could receive their rewards in a shorter time. This will lead to higher success rates of projects.
Starting from the top left line chart and analyzing the success rate by quarters from 2018 to 2023 showed no significant trends or pattern relating to the tendency of the project to be successful in certain quarters. On the other hand, looking at the same date by month showed that the success rate significantly decreased after October from 2018 to 2022. except in 2023, where the success rate increased significantly. This raised questions about the reasons for this behavior. So, examine the overall pledge amount data during these years. It was found that the amount funded decreased significantly from October for all the years. A further analysis of the pledge to goal ratio revealed that the ratio also decreased after October by almost half after reaching a high ratio of around 100%, except for a significant increase in 2023. Furthermore, showed the number of projects created in those years, 2023 had the lowest number of projects created after October, with only 277 projects compared to over 1,700 projects in December of other years. In conclusion, Kickstarter should focus its marketing efforts in Q3 to boost Q4 performance and to urge creators to create more projects and backers to fund. The 2023 improvement in success rates and pledge to go ratio in Q4 suggested recent strategy might be working, and this should be analyzed further and potentially expanded for sustained growth.
So, to analyze the relation between the project success and backers, count 9 classes were created based on the logic. The class with only 0 was created because a 0 backer already means a failed project. The histogram shows that around 80% of the projects falls within the backer count of 100 or less. And the blue line indicates that there is a positive correlation between the number of backers and the success rate of the projects. As the number of backers increases, the success rate significantly improves and the failure rate decreases. Moreover, the most successful categories chart shows that the most of the categories become highly successful when they receive funds from 5,000 backers or more, while the top underperforming categories chart implies that most categories tend to have lower failure rates after being funded by more than 200 backers. Next, the matrix shows that the relationship between the funding goal and the backers count. It can be noted that the funding goal does depend on the backer count. For example, a project with a funding goal of less than 1,000, success rate can jump from 24.88% with 1 to 10 backers to 90% with 11 to 50 backers. To summarize, most of the projects on the platform receive funds from 1 to 200 backers, but the success rate tends to become higher after receiving funds from more than 50 backers. In addition, projects with smaller funding goals can succeed with fewer backers, but as the funding goal becomes larger, more backers are required to succeed.
This dashboard will allow Kickstarter and its stakeholders to view and understand the historical performance of the platform. It includes high-level information about the total number of projects created over the years, their final status, and their distribution among various variables, which include project initiation year, category, location, campaign duration, funding goal, and backers count. At first, this slicer allows the users to show the numbers and analysis of each category and subcategory. The small drop-down sign before each category is to show the subcategory analysis. Secondly, this portion of the dashboard shows important totals and overall percentages of Kickstarter projects. All measures within the cards were already explained in the report, except the total pledges, which indicate the total number of times projects were funded. The pie chart illustrates the final status of projects, while the line chart shows the total number of projects were created on the platform each year, which shows a significant decline in the number of projects created after 2015. This portion of the report shows the 5 main charts derived from the analysis of the research questions, which were already explained previously within each question analysis. This area chart illustrates the annual total amount of money pledged for successfully funded projects. Since Kickstarter collects 5% from each successful project, it has generated a total revenue of approximately $356 million over the years, as depicted in the chart within the chart. However, the platform's revenue has experienced a significant decline in the last 2 years.
To raise backers' chances of getting their desired rewards, it is recommended for them to look for certain attributes of the project, such as project category, location, funding goal, campaign duration, and backers count. By countries, for example, the technology category is overall one of the least successful categories, but it is one of the most successful categories in China. They can also engage with the creators using the space provided for interaction between the creators and backers within each project. This will help them further understand the project dynamics and its likelihood of success. They can also provide feedbacks for the creators to improve their projects and even support them in their marketing efforts by promoting them in their social networks. And this will increase the likelihood of success of their supported project.
As for the recommendation for creators, it is recommended that creators of the least successful categories do careful planning and designing of their projects before launching the campaign. They also should set realistic goals to attract the backers. They can also run pre-launch marketing campaigns on their social media or network to create awareness and generate interest before officially launching on the Kickstarter platform. In addition, given the fact that shorter project duration lead to the greater success, it is recommended to plan for shorter, focused campaigns to create a sense of urgency and maintain momentum. Before launching the campaign, creators can also communicate with other creators within the same category to learn from their success or failure stories.
To boost the success rates by project categories, Kickstarter can consider implementing support systems and educational resources tailored to different categories' specific needs. For example, offering insights and data on successful project strategies in design or technology could help the new creators to better prepare for their campaigns. In addition, given the mixed results in Europe, creators from countries with lower success rates might benefit from analyzing strategies employed by more successful neighbors. This means Kickstarter could collaborate with successful creators to share the best practices with other creators in the same region. Kickstarter can also utilize the local market insights to align project offerings with the interests and expectations of the local backers. For example, film and video projects have a high failure rate in China, so exploring why backers are hesitant could lead to adjusted project parameters or enhanced promotional strategies.
Upon the deadline, many failed projects reached the 90% and above pledge to goal ratio, so Kickstarter can extend the period a little longer for these projects if the remaining amount is reasonable. Given the fact that shorter campaign durations lead to greater success, Kickstarter could also develop a recommender system to advise creators on the optimal minimum duration for their project based on project attributes. Also, given the high variability in the monthly performance of the projects, Kickstarter should consider implementing more consistent engagement strategies, such as making more presence on social media and developing an AI powered chatbot on its website to help the creators and backers for 24 hours and 7 days a week. Moreover, the declining number of projects created on the platform since 2015 is a cause for concern. Kickstarter should consider performing a competitor analysis to determine if the decrease is due to a rise in projects on other crowdfunding platforms. This analysis will provide insights into what other platforms are doing differently and how Kickstarter can improve.
As a conclusion of this Kickstarter project, number one, this project can guide creators and backers' decision. Second, this project can help the Kickstarter improve creators and backers' engagement and satisfaction. For the future study, the proportionate analysis can be considered since the population of every country and the exposure to the Kickstarter project might be different. So by using this proportionate analysis, a proper decision can be made without any bias.